Now, it may surprise you, it may have surprised me a little bit, how much at home I feel here in Graterford. As I'm walking around the room, I mean, well, here's the thing. I'm a senior citizen. So are a lot of you. I'm a veteran. So are a lot of you. I had several people tell me, you know, you're the first state trooper I've ever shaken hands with. Well, if that's the case, I'm very proud of that I'm the first. All right? I got a few things to tell you, and I hope that they'll be of some benefit. I want to start by telling you a story. As the superintendent said, I was in the Marine Corps. I was an officer. I went to Vietnam. After I come back from Vietnam, I ran advanced infantry training, which is all the guys that come out of Parris Island, they come for us to work on their infantry training. And they're very motivated. They're very dedicated, and they're young, and so they're full of energy. So on Sundays, when they're supposed to have a free time, you cannot leave them on their own because they will get in trouble. If you don't have something for them to do, they're going to have something to get in trouble with. So you have to make sure they're doing something. So I had the Sunday duty. I come down there, and I have maybe about 150, 200 guys, and I take them down to the athletic field. I have some soccer balls. I have some footballs. I break them up. We're playing flag football over here. We're going to play soccer over here. My only rule is everybody's got to participate. I don't want people just standing on the side. Everybody's got to go in and out and play. Now, 3 days before, we had gotten a deserter back. This was during the war. It's a serious thing to be a deserter. He went to the brig. They catch him. He's in the brig for a couple days. They come. They have chains wrapped around him when they bring him. He's all like this coming in. He's about 6'3", 215 pounds, which was not the impressive thing about him. The impressive thing about him is he looked like he wanted to kill everybody he saw. I have never seen a look like that on another individual. He was scary. Now, I'm in the Marine Corps, and that's saying something when I'm saying this guy was scary. So we're over there playing football. I'm bored. I want to go home. It's just something I'm doing. And the platoon commander, who was another private, comes up to me, and he says, hey, this guy, the guy that was the deserter, the guy that looks like he wants to kill everybody, he won't participate. Now, I was bored. I was just there. I had to do something. But I think, well, what are you talking about? Bring him over here. You got to understand, there's a war on. Disobeying a direct order is a serious offense under any circumstances. And he just came from the brig. So if I have to write him up about something like this, he is going back to the brig without a doubt. And I don't know any of you had any experience with the Marine Corps brig. It is unpleasant in the extreme. And I'm thinking, well, I don't want to send anybody to the brig because they don't want to play football. But he's got to give me something because I got 150 other guys that are watching, that heard me say they got to participate, and he ain't participating. So what am I going to do? So they bring him over. They have 4 guys with him because he's still got that look. They're watching him close. So he comes over. I said, come here. We walk over to the side, and I get him by himself. I said, listen, buddy, you're going back to the brig. If you don't do what I tell you, you have to obey an order. Go play football. You don't have to play well. It's flag football, but you got to play. And I'm looking at him, and all of a sudden, tears start to come out of his eyes. And he says, well, Lieutenant, I don't know any of these guys. I don't know anybody. I don't have friends. And I realized he's 6'3", 215, looks like he wants to kill you. But in reality, on the inside, he's a 17-year-old kid, never been away from home before. And he's scared to death. And I looked at him, I said, listen, I said, here's the deal. Nobody knows anybody. One of the reasons we're doing this is so you can meet people. Go in there, even if you're bad, just go in there and play. Just participate, and things will get better. He goes in there, and as I said, 6'3", 215, he was an all-star. He made 3 tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Everybody's patting him on the back. And from that day forward, we never had another problem with that guy. Now, why am I telling you that story? Because I could tell you stories with all kinds of shoot-'em-up stuff and death and big things and stuff like that, but I chose that story for this reason. Many of you may look at me and say, hey, there's a guy up there in a suit. He's probably never had a problem in his life. But that would be wrong. And for me, my biggest problem, the most difficult thing I had to deal with is when I went to Vietnam. I'm sleeping in a hole in the ground, and people are trying to kill me every day. And how do you get through something like that? Many of you have had the same experience. Well, for me, there's two things. One was the faith in God, because I soon realized you have no control over your life. Because when people are shooting at you from everywhere, bombs falling and stuff like that, you don't really have any control of what's going to happen to you. If those rockets, I had a rocket go off just 20 feet from me, didn't hit me. You don't have control. And we all want control. But to me, what I found was a faith in God. Faith in God, He's in control. And you have to look at that. And then a sense of humor. Don't take yourself too seriously. And here's the other point of that message and the reason why I told you that story. Whenever we talk and hear big speakers and things like that, they're talking about big events. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about life every day and how you treat people and how they treat you. If you look like you're going to kill people, they're going to stay away from you. If you smile and you look for opportunities to help other people, it's going to be a transforming experience for you. And I will tell you why. Because they're going to look at you differently. They're going to look to you for help. The superintendent said that people call me sometimes when they want advice. And that is exactly true. Because I like to give to help people. I have that heart. I want to do that. Don't think that where you are defines who you are. That's my message. Where you are does not define who you are. You all have the opportunity every day of doing something that makes this world a better place. There are a million problems, and many of them are beyond any of our capabilities to help. But every day, you're going to have an opportunity to maybe help somebody's life. And as I walked around this room and talked to all those groups, that was the one message that came through loud and clear, that many of you have decided to make that kind of a choice and help people. You know what? That's pretty great. I don't pretend to know what God's plan is for your life. I don't pretend to know really what it is for mine. Every day is a struggle. Every day, I try to do the best that I can. God bless you all, and God knows what you're doing, and God loves you all. That's my message. Thank you.